Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Added Time FPL. My name is Nate, this is Mike, and we are back after a little bit of a break because we had the longest Game Week 25 in history. 24. We're on Game Week 25. The Game Week ended yesterday. That's a bit crazy. I didn't know what to do with myself last week. I don't know about you.
Well, crazy is the right word because it ended crazy.
I know. It was insane.
That derby at Goodison Park, oh my goodness. Right till the 97th minute, 2 minutes after the scheduled extra time, added time, I should say. And then Tarkowski hits it in. They celebrate in the crowd. People are invading the pitch. And next minute, Jones is smacking Decore on the head. It was a good end to a double game week.
Yeah, Mark Oliver didn't like Slot's handshake. Thought it was a bit too rough on him. Gave him a red card as well.
Yeah. Since we're talking about that, let me just make it clear to everybody out there. A lot of people played their assistant manager chip on Slot for the double game week, which as it turned out proved to be very good because not only did you have a double game week 24, but we got another double game week for 25.
Yep.
So it was a really good decision. But a lot of people were like, but he got a red card. According to FPL, that has no effect or bearing on the assistant managership. Even though you chose the manager, it's the team. So even if he's not on the touchline, you're still going to get points for him, and you're not going to get penalized anything from the red card. So well done for playing the chip on Slot.
Which is massive. They might rework that for next season because I do feel like it's fair if the man, because it's such a rare occasion, right? But I also get the concept behind it. For me, that means Slot ended game week 24 for 15 points on my assistant manager chip. So I think that was very worthwhile. And like you mentioned, we've got the double game week coming up. Let's talk about the big star of the game week, which is probably everyone's captain, but Mohamed Salah just consistently hauling. I apologize, Mohamed Salah. Consistently hauling over 2 consecutive games in the game week, 16-pointer and a 13-pointer. Should you have played your triple captain to those people that did? And I think, sorry, they must have. That's why I lost. I got a red arrow. I got a red arrow with 115 points, Mikhail. I'm upset.
Well, if you had Wood in your team, you probably wouldn't have had a red arrow.
No, true. But I think a lot of people triple captain, and that's why I dropped places.
Yeah, I think it'll go down as the next best option, if not better option of Haaland in game week 2 or 3, whenever that was early in the season. So we got now Salah with his big haul, and we could potentially see another one with this next double game week coming up for Liverpool. So they're playing Wolves, and they're playing Wolves next, and they're playing Aston Villa. The Aston Villa game is probably a tricky one, but the Wolves one seemingly easy, but with the emotion from the Everton game and Slot not being on the touchline, you never know what could happen. So I think if you did pull your triple captain, you did a good job. And
I've just calculated that it's 87 points. You would have got 87 points if you triple captain this game week from Salah alone.
Just the fact that you triple captain Salah, you pulled the assistant manager chip on Slot at the perfect time. Nate was awake when it was, and he just was like, I played my chip, and I was like, damn it, man. And I missed that deadline, and I think I would have done it too. And now I'm sitting in a situation where I can't really afford the money for assistant unless I play a wild card and I do movements. So I'm kind of keeping my assistant manager for an end of season run now at this point. So if you haven't played it, you can still play it if you have the money.
Just the FYI, the highest scoring team this week got 201 points.
Damn.
That must be some sort of record. He had Chris Wood, he had Beto, he had triple captain Salah, he had Gibbs White's son, Elanga, Trent, Tarkowski. He had Tarkowski. Brother, he knew the Liverpool game was going to be fire. He just knew. And then Alisson in goal. He's only 2.7 millionth overall. So, like, if you're down there, it can happen to you as well. You don't have to be in the top echelons. But yeah, on that, we also need to talk about the start of the game week because that was a 7-0 victory to Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, bro. I mean, Brighton ended up kicking Chelsea out of the FA Cup, but they started the game week on Saturday, the 1st of Feb, with a 7-0 loss.
That's rebound football if I've ever seen one.
I think Forest have done really well up to this point, and I think that if you have Forest assets, we're talking about Aina, we're talking about Sals, and we're talking about Wood as the main three.
Elanga even is touching base in there, to be honest.
For the midfield slot, yeah. And I think you've done well. but I think the season for them could unravel from a top four perspective or a title challenge
Well, they're
perspective.
currently third, so which is crazy.
Yeah, but they are playing Fulham away, tough.
Which won't be easy.
Newcastle away,
It won't be
tough.
easy.
Arsenal at home and
Won't
City at
be.
home.
Although
So
I'm a little bit skeptical on Arsenal, considering Havertz is out for the rest of the season.
no
Just by the
striker.
way, no striker. Saka's still not in there.
Yeah, it's
Arsenal
looking bleak
season's
for
looking
Arsenal.
bad. Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of teams are regretting not signing a forward in the January window.
Are you targeting a team when you had said that statement? I know
I
I am.
mean, I would say all of them. I mean, I think Nottingham Forest have the best striker in the top four.
Yeah, we should have bought Wood. um, on
I
that,
think we. Yeah. What are you thinking about the play to target for this game
well,
week?
that's what I
Because
was
we've
about
got.
to say, right? So, Liverpool's not the only team with a double game week. Aston Villa also has a double game week.
Are you thinking Watkins?
I might pivot to Watkins. I brought in Ndaye for the double game week. He unfortunately did nothing for me in the Liverpool derby, so I might move him off and bring in Ollie Watkins and see if he hauls something.
It's a tricky move because Watkins is currently injury flagged. He did pick up an injury, but I read news today that he was training with the team today in indoor training. So um, that means that there is a chance he starts at least, or plays from the bench, or in the team
Yeah,
for the first game and definitely plays the second. So I still think it's a good move. I think Watkins is quality up front, but you can't look further than Salah for midfield
no.
captain. Everything it's just Salah, right? You got to have him in.
In fact, I know we do captaincy at the end, but we're going to do it in the middle because you just captain Salah this game week. It's just
Yeah.
obvious. I don't even want to suggest an outside choice. Like you just captain Salah. Like
Yeah.
what are you
With
doing?
the injury flag on Watkins, it means Salah is your obvious choice for captain. And if you, whatever reason, don't have Salah, then maybe you've got another Liverpool asset and you're looking at Gakpo, you're looking at Diaz for his turn to haul in the double. So keep those options open as well.
With that in mind as well, the other person I was looking to bring in, I think I've got expended my use from Anthony Gordon. He was also flagged with an injury, and they are playing City next, so I might move him on, and it might be a time to pivot off Newcastle. I think we've hit that peak, and now they're on the decline again. What do you think?
No, I agree. I still think in the long run, I think
Isak.
Gordon did not prove to be the best
Mm,
option.
mm.
And if you look at the player that we're about to mention, who you could have brought in instead of Gordon at at a little bit of a lower price
Yeah, I'm a
bracket,
little bit sad I
not much
didn't.
lower price bracket, it's you would have gotten way more points out. And we're thinking of the same man for our midfield. He's currently in fourth highest scoring midfielder behind Salah, Palmer, and Buemo.
Wow. Yep, it's Mr. Justin Kluivert.
Yeah,
Yeah, on top of that, Bournemouth have a phenomenal run of fixtures for the next
not just next four.
month, 2
Like,
months. Yeah.
yeah, we got Southampton, Wolves, Brighton, Spurs, Brentford, Ipswich, West Ham, Fulham, Palace, and then the run probably ends around about the Man United.
Nah, all those teams are shit. Just
it's
kidding.
it's such a good run for a player that's in such high form.
Yeah.
Um, that being said, correct me if I'm wrong. He only got 2 points this game week.
Yeah, well, it was Liverpool, and Liverpool did choke them out of the game. But if you look
Yeah.
before then, he scored against Chelsea, a hat trick against Newcastle, and scored against Forest in that 5-0 victory. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I think he's the shout. For me personally, if I wanted to do both, I have the exact funds. I'll need to make that move probably tonight and think about it. Are you thinking of playing your assistant manager chip?
No, and the reason is not because it's if I could play it, I would. But the reality is that the way my team is set up, I don't have the funds, and I'm probably going to have to wildcard a team to set up myself for the chip. And I do think there might be another double game week coming closer to the end of the season, so I'm going to hold it for then, and also target a team that's in a good run of form, playing up the table. So I mean, for someone like you, who's like at the upper of all our mini leagues, I think you pulled the trigger at the right time. For me, I can sort of use it near the end of the season just to climb a couple of places at the right moment. So I'm
Currently,
not playing mine, but
currently, Sorry, I'm currently 61 points ahead of second place in our mini league, which can change with that assistant managership. So yeah.
But I mean, if there's anyone still with the triple captainship left, they're probably kicking themselves because they've missed Salah triple captain, and they've missed Haaland early in the season. And I would say that a lot of them are probably going to play Salah triple captain if they still have it in the next game. And who knows, this might be the time that Salah blanks a little bit.
Yeah, could be. Really could be. I want to discuss Man City and Real Madrid, because does that mean, well, firstly, Haaland scored 2 goals. Granted, they were penalties, but does this give them confidence into Newcastle? Do you think it's at all worthwhile considering a move back to Haaland?
No. There's way too many options all around the field for that money. If anybody in City looks like to be in some vein of form, I'd say if you're tired of Palmer, you can move Palmer to Foden, because Foden is involved in all the attacks. He seems to be more reliable than Haaland right now. And if City are going to kick on, I think I'd put my money more on Foden be involved more than Haaland, because Haaland sometimes disappears in some games. So yeah, it's not the same Haaland as last season or the beginning of the season. So I think Foden is the one I would target out of all the City attackers if you were going there. But honestly, right now, City couldn't keep that advantage against Real Madrid. They're struggling in the league at times. I thought that the Real Madrid match would be a point where they actually kick on and now go back to their old form, but then they slip it and throw it away at the end. This is uncharted territory for Pep and City, so I'd stay clear for now.
Yeah, that and Aguero lost his testicles. So
I keep saying it's he said if they lose, but technically there's still another leg. So
technically he's not wrong. Like, he doesn't have to lock in just
hard.
Yeah. Pivoting to the other side of Manchester, I was very happy that United lost, because I had Munoz, and Munoz got an assist and a clean sheet. So from Crystal Palace. So that was a nice surprise. In all honesty, it's been a very entertaining and fun week of football. I was quite depressed on Sunday when Chelsea got knocked out, but then it was made up immediately by Spurs. And then the Liverpool game was just like icing on the cake, because they dropped points. There was red cards. It was entertaining.
And
Michael
they just
Oliver,
got knocked out by Plymouth as well.
well, there you go. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Plymouth. I'm buying a Plymouth jersey, so up the Pilgrims. Michael Oliver is probably one of the worst referees in football, next to Anthony Taylor, but we move, right? We just take it on the chin and we move past it. It was an entertaining game. I mean, I think it's been a good week of football, and we can only hope for the best for the next game week 25.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting game week. There's just fixtures everywhere where points can come from. Who knows if Palmer turns up this time and Maresca fixes Chelsea for a Palmer haul. Arsenal, all their injuries up front. Do you think that they can do something against Leicester, or are they going to drown? City versus Newcastle, flip a coin, right?
Yeah.
And this is why I think the best bets for this week would be Liverpool assets with the double, Villa assets with the double, and then I would give Bournemouth a shout. That's why Clivert's coming in on both of our teams, I think, because they're playing Southampton and then playing Wolves. So I think that's the big one. But there is a big tasty match happening near the end of the week. Sunday, it's Spurs versus United. I mean, the battle for what? To avoid relegation.
It's gonna be poo. It's just gonna be poo. Yeah. Don't forget, those of you that are watching and have made it this far, the deadline is Friday, 6:30 p.m. United Kingdom time, minus 7 hours, which would be 12:30 p.m. Canada time.
11:30 for me, but
11:30 a.m. Canada. Or 12, I don't know. You guys need to find a better way to keep time. So keep that in mind. Yeah, I mean, if you enjoyed this type of format, this was kind of a different take on our weekly podcast. We thought we'd just try something a bit different, and let us know if you like it. On top of that, let us know if you are going to be playing any of your chips this week, or if you did play your chips last week. We'd love to know. Subscribe to the channel, because that's what you should do. because the content's great. And leave a like on the video and share it with your friends because they need as much help as you do. And that's why you're watching this video, right? So there you go.
Join the mini league, then beat Nate because he's been at the top so long of the mini group that he's now losing the motivation because it's just walking the path.
That's why City are losing this year. They're just bored, right? So no, I'm just kidding. But yeah, if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. It was a bit of a quick one, but it was a quick turnaround because the deadline's tonight/tomorrow whenever you're watching this. So yeah, thank you so much, and we'll see you next week, hopefully earlier, because yeah. All right, get out of here. Okay, leave.